the season, there was an enormous amount of interest in the official qualifying sessions. It didn't go well for reigning champion Sean van der Linde, who found himself in 6th place.
This is not where I wanted to be on the grid, but unfortunately our position is going very well, especially the Opals, and it's going to be very, very hard to beat them tomorrow. My strategy will just be to try and just stay in the thick of things and try and hang in there, and maybe later in the race we'll see what the condition of the tyres deliver up, and maybe, you know, try and challenge. I don't know if we're going to be able to challenge for the lead, but at least for 3rd or whatever.
The BP Nissan squad was delighted with the performance of rookie Janil de Villiers, with the young Cape Townian 3rd on the grid in his touring car debut.
Get out. You're all right, man. That's enough. Very good. Excellent. Well done, Johnny. Very good.
There were smiles all around in the Nissan camp, but de Villiers supporters were not surprised to see their man right up with the pace setters, first time out in a touring car. It certainly came as no surprise to see the new Opel Vectras dominating the qualifying session. Former champion Mike Briggs and teammate Grant McCleary gave a hint of what was to come when they posted highly impressive lap times during pre-event test sessions. Everyone expected the Opels to dominate qualifying, but a delighted de Villiers had provided the Fundis with plenty of food for thought.
Yeah, I must say I'm actually very surprised myself. I just got my head on, warmed up the tyres the first lap, and the second lap I just went for it, kept my head on and tried not to make too many mistakes, and I got a good time there.
Qualifying sessions and races are two different kettles of fish, but the Opel racing team had struck an early psychological blow. The task ahead of Briggs and McCleary was to ram home the early advantage gained over the opposition.
The qualifying and the race is two totally different things. As I've said, the qualifying setup is particularly good on this car. I think in the race it's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, we would like to try and get away because we can use the clean lines and just go much faster and keep out of the trouble. But, you know, I think some of these other guys, the BMs, the Nissans, are going to make it very difficult for us to get away. And if they crowd us, getting away is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. That's what I'd like to do, but whether that happens, we'll have to wait and see.
A great start to the season for former touring car champion Mike Briggs, with pole position first time out in the new Opel Vectra. A double triumph for Opel Racing, with Grant McCleary joining teammate Mike Briggs on the front row of the grid. A tremendous performance for newcomer Janil de Villiers to take 3rd place in the BP Nissan Sentra, with Dion Joubert alongside him on the 2nd row in the first of the BMW Envirocars. Nick de Vul set the 5th fastest time in the 2nd of the BP Nissan Sentras to share the 3rd row of the grid with reigning touring car champion Sean van der Linde in the 2nd BMW Envirocar. The 7th fastest time went to veteran superstar Sarel van der Merwe in the Sassel Ford Mondeo. Alongside Supervan on the 4th row was another rising star in Anthony Taylor in the Castrol Toyota Camry. An encouraging start for Chris Aberdeen in the Rothmans Audi 80, who was 9th quickest in the qualifying session, with Ben Morgenrud completing the top 10 on the grid in the 2nd Sassel Ford Mondeo. Set for the opening round of the 1995 AA Fleetcare Touring Car Championship, and there is a buzz around Kyalami as the lights go green, and it's Grant McCleary who has got away first and is ahead of teammate Mike Briggs as the Opel Vectras lead the cars into the total curves. There was a bit of barging between Nick de Vul and Sean van der Linde, but it's a clean start. Opel leads Opel, with McCleary ahead of Briggs. Janil de Villiers is 3rd in the BP Nissan Sentra, with teammate Nick de Vul 4th. Then come the 2 BMWs, followed by Anthony Taylor, Sabine Reck, and the 2 Sassel Ford Mondeos. It's the charge of the touring car brigade down the old pit straight. The cars are spread across the circuit, and Sean van der Linde has dropped a place as teammate Dion Joubert goes flying past. We're in car with van der Linde, with Goodyear corner up ahead. The reigning champion has lost another place as one of the Rothmans Audis forces its way past the BMW on the inside of Goodyear corner. Van der Linde is down to 7th as the cars go streaming through the Rothmans S's for the first time. We go in car with Mike White in the Minolta Toyota Camry as he chases Ben Morgenrud's Ford Mondeo up the hill towards the double apex West Bank corner. White has seen a gap on the inside as they approach West Bank, and the Toyota has picked up a place. It's been a hectic first lap, and already we have seen a number of changes in positions. Out in front, McCleary still leads Opel teammate Mike Briggs, with Janil de Villiers and Nick de Waal giving chase in the BP Nissan Sentras. Dion Joubert is fifth in the first of the BMW Enviro cars, and that is Chris Aberdeen in the Rothmans Audi ahead of Sean van der Linde. Aberdeen is sixth, and that's encouraging for Audi, but van der Linde is right on his tail and looking for a way past. Van der Linde is going for the inside line as they break for the tight Gestetner left-hander, and the BMW is through with a gaggle of cars jockeying for position as they come onto the main straight. And someone has spun out. That's Don Brains in the Class B Opel Astra. Back with the leaders, and still it's Grant McCleary ahead of Mike Briggs. Janil de Villiers and Nick de Waal are doing all they can to stay with the two Opel Vectras as Class B runner Duncan Voss brings the Nissan Sentra into the pits, minus some front bodywork. We're almost at the halfway stage of the race, and the Opels are not managing to pull away too much from the Nissan Sentras. Janil de Villiers and Nick de Waal are doing a pretty good job of keeping tabs on the leaders. Action replay time, and the mystery of the missing bodywork on the Voss Nissan and the Don Brain spin is solved. Voss spins coming out of the Haviland sweep, and as he gets the car under control at the AA Super Bowl, Brains cuts across his bows, and there's solid contact between Nissan and Opel. Back to the action, and a good battle is developing between old rivals Cyril van der Merwe in the Sassel Ford Mondeo and Chris Aberdeen in the Rothmans Audi. Van der Merwe has made up ground after a terrible start, but is under pressure from the Audi, which has the advantage of four-wheel drive. That's Sabine Reck, who is in a spot of bother in the Motorplan BMW. The BMW is in a gravel trap, and she won't get out of there in a hurry. That looks like Nashua Corner, where Sabine has come unstuck, and that has cost her valuable time, but she's underway again. There are no such problems for our race leaders, with Grant McCleary still ahead of teammate Mike Briggs. The pair have finally pulled away from Janil de Villiers in the Nissan, with Nick de Waal now out of the picture after a spin at the AA kink. It'd be interesting to know if there are any team orders in the Opel Racing camp. McCleary has led Briggs from the start as the pair come streaming through the AA kink, and Briggs is making a move up the inside of Gestetner Corner. McCleary has moved over politely, and Mike Briggs is into the lead for the first time in this race. And here is the van der Merwe Aberdeen battle. This is getting interesting, with van der Merwe doing all he can to hold off Aberdeen. And van der Merwe has spun. There was contact between the two cars, and that's going to be worth an action replay. The Sassel Ford Mondeo has come to a stop in Gestetner Corner, and it looks as though the car may have stalled. Supervan won't be happy, and you can take poison on the fact that there'll be some very blue language flying around in that Mondeo. Cyril wants some help from the marshals to extricate the Ford from the sand trap, but the incident will have dropped him way down the field, and Aberdeen won't be at the top of Supervan's popularity list. More bad news, this time for Nissan, with Janil de Villiers out of the race with mechanical problems, as we take another look at the van der Merwe Aberdeen incident. Van der Merwe is defending the inside line when he gets a nudge from the Audi, and the race officials might have a word or two for Chris Aberdeen after the race. Disappointment for the Ford camp and their supporters, but it's plain sailing for Opel Racing. The two Opel Vectras, driven by Mike Briggs and Grant McCleary, are still out in front and have a comfortable lead over Dion Joubert, who has moved up into third place with the demise of the BP Nissan Sentras. The two Opels are running smoothly in tandem, with Anthony Taylor into fourth place in the Castrol Toyota Camry, ahead of reigning champion Sean van der Linde in the second BMW Enviro car. Team orders or no team orders, it looks as though Grant McCleary has decided to settle for second place. It's probably a wise decision. The two Opels are not under any threat from Dion Joubert, who is a long way behind in third place. It'd be stupid for the two Opel drivers to get involved in a major scrap for the lead and run the risk of taking each other out at a time when a 1-2 result for the team looks assured. There's closes the gap to Dion Joubert in third place, and the two Opel drivers can afford to slacken the pace a little to preserve car and tyres. The battle that's starting to get interesting is the fight for fourth place, with Sean van der Linde gradually closing in on Anthony Taylor in the Castrol Toyota Camry. Taylor was one of the stars of last season, but the switch from the privateer BMW Motorplan car to the factory Toyota has been a major learning curve for the Krugersdorp youngster. The BMW is rear-wheel driven, and switching to the front-wheel drive Camry has meant something of a learning curve for Taylor. The two Opels are running like clockwork, and both Briggs and McCleary appear to be totally relaxed. With a longer wheelbase than the Opel Astras the pair campaigned last season, the Vectra is not as skittish as the Astra, and the Opel squad looks to have stolen a march on the other teams when it comes to getting right early season sums. We are into the closing stages of this race, with the two Opels coming up to lap Cyril van der Merwe, who is simply touring around in the Sassel Ford Mondeo. After his coming together with Chris Aberdeen, van der Merwe looks to be heading for the pits, and an active role from Superban in this race is probably over. While van der Merwe cruises to the pits, Briggs and McCleary look to be cruising to a crushing 1-2 result for Opel Racing. It will be a major coup for the squad, who lost team manager Derek Marks at the end of last season when he took up a promotion in South America. The team is now being run by Dominic River, and what a way this will be for him to start the year. This is now the most interesting battle on the racetrack as we go in-car with Sean van der Linde as he closes in on Anthony Taylor in the Castrol Toyota Camry. This is the fight for fourth place, and van der Linde is trying up the inside of Gestetner corner. The BMW is alongside the Camry, but Taylor is not budging an inch. The cars are side by side down the main straight, and Taylor is making life difficult for van der Linde. He forced the BMW over to the left of the circuit, and Taylor had the better line into the total curves. Taylor is still out in front, but how long can he keep van der Linde at bay is the big question. The Camry is starting to look a little ragged, and that would suggest Taylor's tyres have gone off and that he's having handling problems. The cars are tied together along the old pit straight. You can bet your boots Taylor is not going to make it easy for van der Linde to get past. He's going to make the Camry as wide as possible by using all the road available to him. Van der Linde is going to have to work to move up into fourth place. Coming up to the Rothmans S's, and the BMW is trying to sneak up the inside once more, but Taylor won't have any of that, and van der Linde is going to have to make other plans elsewhere. There's the gap between Dion Joubert in third place and the battle for fourth. Taylor is being forced into taking defensive lines, but van der Linde will fancy his chances of finally getting past the Toyota at the bottom of the Caltex mineshaft. This is two of South Africa's top young racing talents fighting it out in an enthralling battle. Race distance is running out as we go in car with van der Linde through the Havilene sweep. There are puffs of smoke from the Camry's tyres as Taylor locks up the brakes. Van der Linde has seen his opportunity on the inside of the AA Super Bowl, and the BMW is up into fourth place. Back with the leaders, and the checkered flag is out for Mike Briggs and Grant McCleary. Briggs will lead home his teammate to win the first round of the AA Fleetcare Touring Car Championship. It's a 1-2 triumph for the Opel Vectras, with Dion Joubert and Sean van der Linde third and fourth for BMW, ahead of the Taylor Toyota Camry. What a start for Opel Racing and Mike Briggs and Grant McCleary. They completely dominated the race, and their season is off to a flying start. A good result under the circumstances for the BMW Envirocar team, and Anthony Taylor and Mike White will be pleased to finish in the points in the Toyota Camrys. A great result also for Kursi Swanepoel, who took Class B in the BMW. It was a case of smiles all around in the Opel pit as Grant McCleary and Mike Briggs congratulated each other. Over in the BP Nissan pit, there was activity of a different kind, with technical crew trying to repair the De Villiers Sentra in time for the second race.
The Opels got away very well. Then I tried to stay with him. Not overcook our tyres and stuff too much. The cars went very well. Unfortunately, then there was some oil on the track. Nick slid in the oil in the kink, so he went off there. And 2 laps later, my rocker broke. So that was a bit bad luck there.
The Sasol Ford team also had their problems. Tyre wear was a major concern for the team, but Cyril van der Merwe was philosophical over his coming together with Chris Aberdeen.
So, not the best of starts for the day for you. Slightly controversial what happened out there on the track. Do you want to give us your version of it?
Well, it was going quite well for a while, and then my front brakes failed, so I had to take a lot more time braking. And then Aberdeen just punted me off before the corner, spun into the sand trap the wrong way. It's not really my version, that's just what happened.
Both Toyota Camrys came through the race unscathed, with Anthony Taylor more than happy with 5th place in his first outing for the team.
Anthony Taylor qualified 8th, finished 5th after being 4th at one stage. Are you happy with the performance of the Toyota?
Yeah, I am very happy with the performance. I'm still getting used to the cars. I've only done roughly 45 laps in the car, but it's from 8th to 5th. I think it's very, very good. I was chasing Dion Joubert for 3rd position, and then the tires started going off, unfortunately, and I started dropping back places.
First race of the 95 season and a great start for the Opel team. 1 and 2. Michael, if we can start with you, congratulations on the win. Is this the start of an unbeatable season for Opel? It certainly looked like it.
Well, I certainly would like to think so, but I don't believe anybody or any combination in motor racing is unbeatable. So I hope to prove you that theory wrong, but we're really looking good. The cars are comfortable, easy to drive. We don't really have to work too hard in them. And I think we've got the right combination to certainly get a good start in the championship and hopefully win it this year.
Grant, were you two taking it easy? Were there any team orders? Were you particularly backing off? It would hate to have a teammate bash into the other one.
No, we for the first 3 laps we pushed a bit hard just to get away from the rest of the field. Janelle hung on to us pretty well. But the track was very, very slippery, you know, and you know, I tried, but Briggsy's flying, so you know, I came back at him, but you know, we no team orders, but we just want to keep the cars 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is better than 1 and nothing, you know.
The AA Fleetcare Touring Car Championship action continues. Round 2 of the AA Fleetcare Touring Car Championship is underway at AA Kyalami. In car with Nick de Waal, and there is plenty of jockeying for positions, but it looks as though we have another clean start as the cars stream into the total curves. The first corner is always a potential flashpoint, but everyone has made it safely through the initial danger zone. Through Nashua corner for the first time, and Briggs leads McCleary with Joubert and van der Linde 3rd and 4th. One of the Rothmans Audis has made a good start in 5th position with Anthony Taylor hot on his heels in the Castrol Camry. The 2 Opel Vectras are once again out in front, and we are looking at a repeat of round 1 of the AA Fleetcare Championship. It's Chris Aberdeen who is up ahead of Anthony Taylor as the cars head for the tight left-hander at Goodyear corner. Aberdeen is using all the road to fend off Taylor as they go into the Rothmans S's. Taylor will want to get past the Audi as quickly as possible. We go in car with Nick de Waal in the BP Nissan Sentra. Up ahead we have a bird's eye view of the Aberdeen-Taylor scrap with a determined Aberdeen fighting back. And the pair are trading paint in West Bank corner, but Taylor has got the break he wanted and can chase after the 2 BMWs. The next problem for Aberdeen will be de Waal, who will also be looking for a way past the Audi. We are still in car with Nick de Waal through the Haviline sweep, and Aberdeen is trying to block the Sentra. Aberdeen moves to the inside of the circuit as de Waal opts for the wide line around the hairpin at AA Super Bowl. Once again, Aberdeen is trading paint for the Sentra as the edge as they head for the AA kink, and now Aberdeen is under pressure from Mike White in the Minolta Toyota Camry. White also wants to find a way past the Audi, and Aberdeen has dropped 2 places in less than half a lap. The cars come steaming down the Gestetner Straight, and it's still the Opel Vectras out in front from the BMW pair of Dion Joubert and Sean van der Linde. Anthony Taylor is 5th in the Castrol Camry with Aberdeen 6th in the Rothmans Audi, but now under pressure from Mike White in the 2nd Camry. White won't want to be held up by Aberdeen, and like Taylor and de Waal, will be looking for a quick way around the Rothmans Audi. White is sandwiched between Aberdeen and the second Rothmans Audi, driven by Terry Moss. Once again, Aberdeen is being forced into taking defensive lines in an effort to hold off White. White will be getting a touch frustrated because he's being held up by the Audi and will want to get past Aberdeen as quickly as possible. If he can quickly get past the Audi, the next target for White will be Nick de Waal in the BP Nissan Sentra. De Waal hasn't been able to break away from Aberdeen, and White will fancy his chances of catching the Nissan. White has made his move, and he does it at exactly the same place as teammate Anthony Taylor a lap or two ago. Taylor went past Aberdeen at exactly the same spot on the climb up to Westbank, but Aberdeen is fighting back on the inside. Aberdeen and White are side by side down the Caltex mine shaft, but White has grabbed the prime piece of road for the Haviland sweep. White has got past Aberdeen and is up to 7th place behind the 2 Opel Vectras, the 2 BMW Enviro cars, Anthony Taylor and Nick de Waal. This is the AA kink with the Rothmans Audis chasing White in the Minolta Camry. White looks to be edging away from the Audis as cones go flying on the inside of the kink. That was Aberdeen who touched the cones, and that could mean a stop-go penalty for the Audi driver. Now more in-car action, this time from Anthony Taylor's Castrol Camry, and that is Sean van der Linde up ahead of the Toyota with Taylor closing in on the BMW. The race order is Briggs leading McCleary with Joubert 3rd, van der Linde is 4th, Taylor 5th, de Waal is 6th and White 7th in the Minolta Camry. The pattern where the Opel Vectras are concerned is exactly as it was in the first race. Briggs and McCleary have opened up a gap on the rest of the field and once again look to have matters completely under control. Anthony Taylor is closing in rapidly on Sean van der Linde in the BMW Enviro car. There was a little twitch from the BMW as they went through the Goodyear sweep, and that indicates van der Linde has a tyre problem. It's a sweltering day, and with high track temperatures, all the tyres will be taking a beating. When the tyres go off, the car starts sliding around in the corners, and van der Linde is going to have his hands full fending off Taylor. The battle behind the race leaders is really hotting up. Joubert, van der Linde, Taylor and de Waal are tightly bunched behind the Opel Vectras of Mike Briggs and Grant McCleary. This is a high-speed train down the Caltex mine shaft, and you can expect Anthony Taylor to make a move on Sean van der Linde at the AA Super Bowl. Taylor is attacking on the inside. He locked up the brakes on the Toyota Camry, but Taylor has got past van der Linde in exactly the same fashion that van der Linde passed him in the first race. Now Taylor has Dion Joubert in the second BMW Enviro car in his sights. And Taylor has a problem. Taylor is pulling off the side of the circuit and his race is over. Taylor went into the dirt coming out of the AA kink and might have a puncture. And that's a tragedy for the Toyota team. Anthony Taylor's race is run, but now it's Nick de Waal in the BP Nissan Sentra who is climbing all over Sean van der Linde in the BMW. Van der Linde definitely has a tyre problem and de Waal has his sights set on taking over 4th place. Nick de Waal closes right up on van der Linde in the corners, and that is a sure sign that the BMW is losing grip through tyre wear. The Opel Vectras of Mike Briggs and Grant McCleary are still controlling matters from the front, but they have not managed to open up too much of a gap over Dion Joubert in 3rd place in the BMW Enviro car. The race is into its final stages, but there could still be drama, particularly from van der Linde and de Waal. And there is Anthony Taylor still on the circuit, but circulating very slowly as Ben Morgan-Rood, who is way down the field, goes past the Camry in the Sassel Ford Mondeo. Taylor looked to have picked up a puncture, but must have run into some sort of mechanical problem that has slowed him right down. Taylor will finish out at the points, but Nick de Waal is still fighting it out with Sean van der Linde, who has been slipping and sliding all over the circuit. Van der Linde managed to keep de Waal at bay in through Westbank corner, but the Nissan is going to get past as they go down the Caltex mine shaft. There was a puff of smoke from the left rear tile of the Sentra under braking at the hairpin at the AA Super Bowl, but de Waal is up into 4th place. Now has he got enough race distance to catch Dion Joubert, who is in 3rd place in the second BMW Enviro car. Behind van der Linde and in the points in 6th place is Mike White in the Minolta Camry. White has managed to keep the Rothmans Audis of Terry Moss and Chris Aberdeen at bay. Moss has moved ahead of teammate Aberdeen and is up to 7th and won't be able to resist throwing caution to the winds in an effort to catch White. This is the last lap with Sean van der Linde grimly trying to stay in touch with Nick de Waal in the Nissan Sentra. The race is once again in the bag for the Opel Vectras, and it doesn't look as though de Waal will be able to make up the deficit on Dion Joubert, who has been third throughout this race. De Waal is pulling away slightly from van der Linde, but he doesn't have enough race distance to catch Joubert. It has been an encouraging performance by de Waal and the Nissan, and what a pity that Janil de Villiers was forced to miss this race after running into engine problems earlier in the day. Now race cam action from the Mike White Minolta Toyota Camry. This is the approach to Goodyear Corner, and White is taking a wide line, and Terry Moss has slipped through on the inside in the Rothmans Audi. That puts Moss into the points, and White won't be too happy about dropping a place on the last lap. Mike White is sandwiched between two Audis on the climb up to West Bank. Will White try something desperate to take back 6th place? Moss has taken a defensive line. It's Aberdeen who loses out as White chops across his bows. Down the Caltex mineshaft for the last time, and White will be looking for an overtaking manoeuvre at the AA Super Bowl. He needs to be a bit closer to Moss. Oh, White has gone very wide. He looked to miss a gear, and Chris Aberdeen has sneaked through on the inside. White will be fuming. Both the Rothmans Audis have gone past Mike White on the last lap, and he is out of the points. A victory wave from Mike Briggs, and it's a double on the day for the former champion, with his Opel Vectra teammate Grant McCleary providing tremendous support with another 2nd place. Dion Joubert picks up another 3rd place with Nick de Waal, Sean van der Linde and Terry Moss also in the points.
Just somewhat of a nightmare day for you, I think is the best way to describe it. Good start in both heats, and then it all seemed to go badly wrong. What happened in both of them?
First heat was going quite well. The car was getting very good towards the end of the race because of the 4-wheel drive. And I had a little coming together with Sarl on the just on the approach to this corner right here, and our cars seemed to hook together, and he jumped on the brakes and locked everything up and went off the circuit.